So I'm going to take an opportunity to introduce Mark Victor Hansen. Nobody in the world has sold more books than he has.
Yeah, right on.
And that's
life changer. Let's go.
You know, it is. It's amazing, and and I love the family thing that's going on too. That your son Preston, which we'll get you in here.
So weird.
It's so awesome. You know,
I love the universe.
We put him to work.
Okay, so laws of attraction, right? Not just laws of attraction, the laws of the universe. Okay, 100%. There's more to it than that. I see 11s all the time, right there. I look and there's 11s all the time. You can Google it. It's an angel thing. It's been going on for years. And definite purpose. I think everybody here has a definite purpose. Has everyone heard about that terminology? The book from the guy that the one that wrote what's that book? Well, there's the devil interview. The interview. You ever had that devil interview? Okay. Napoleon Hill's. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Outwitting Devil, I wrote the foreword to that for Sharon.
Of course you did.
And I narrated it.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry, I didn't know what you were talking about, Dr. Hill.
If you've not listened or read Outwitting the Devil, the main thing is the one thing he cannot is definite purpose. He cannot break definite purpose in a person.
Nope. And Napoleon Hill, before he died, said two things. He said, take your 13 principles and Think and Grow Rich, consolidate them into two. And he said, number one, you got a definite purpose, which that's the hard thing for everyone, what you really want. And I've got a bestseller out now called Ask, The Bridge from Your Dreams to Destiny. And number two is you got to have a dream team. 1 and 1 equals 11. You got to have your mastermind because it creates a third new mind that's invincible. And that's what Hill learned from Andrew Carnegie. And Andrew Carnegie said, look, I'm reading the New Testament, and Jesus didn't put his first miracle, water into wine at Canaan, until he had 12 disciples, synchromesh, and he created a third new mind, and then he could do miracles. And that's still true today in sports.
Absolutely,
or everything. Yeah.
100%. And these two right here, what they've accomplished, and especially Andrew Cartwright, what he's done as a definite purpose and passion through taking his knowledge and learning and gaining access to information that no one's going to find. They're not going to go find it out there. And helping people understand our government has a lot of different opportunities to take advantage of tax advantages and tax breaks and grants and money. And not just federal government, city, state, and other authorities. And private companies have grants and stuff like that. And so that's what's amazing about you. I love his content on YouTube. If you've never checked it out, it's amazing. And
There's just there's so many grants out there, government grants like on grant.gov. There's SBA stuff. There's even a 10-year options that with the 8A program with the SBA that'll provide guidance and help to be able to help you, get grants and get through the process. And it's just we have like the best country in the world.
Totally.
Like, if it wasn't for the USDA, the SBA, grant.gov, and our business infrastructure, I'd leave the U.S. It's literally, we have the best infrastructure for upward mobility, and nobody knows how to do it anymore. And I'm a guy, I've started 32 companies in 17 industries. I pulled myself out of a hole 4 times using the U.S. to make a little bit of money, leverage it, and then invest it. And, it's I went through 2008, lost everything, and went backwards and then rebuilt again. So I just, and my thing is I've been homeless and multimillionaire.
Yeah, I've been to his home. He's not homeless anymore. He's got 17 waterfalls at his pool. So, yeah.
So
yeah, I built a custom home, 12,000 square feet that
Vegas.
I love. Yeah, with a resort pool. It's made for bumper boats. It has a kitchen inside. I don't show any of it really to my audience because I want my audience to be about them. I don't want it to be about what I do. Like a rich white guy is not interesting, but
I can't relate, but yeah, I understand what you guys are talking about. I got you guys.
You mean
Good-
just
good
because
one.
you're rich?
You're the minority now. Yeah, you're the minority now.
Yeah, the biggest guy that's minority here, 6'5". That's me.
No, I'm talking about Andrew's the minority. Yeah,
So I want to hitchhike on what you said. I wrote The 1 Minute Millionaire, which sold like 3.6 million and transcended.
I love that book. It's a
Yeah,
good
and
book.
what we said is exactly what you
I've
said.
read many of your books. I got goosebumps. I'm like, really? I'm really talking to
Is
you.
this him?
I'm honored.
11 again.
I wrote a book called The Origin of Opportunity, and it's been doing well. It's like wild, and it's almost like I didn't write it. I felt like God wrote it.
And that's what God's trying to do, because what I say in my book that complements what you said is there's a million ways to make a million. Mm-hmm. There's one right, perfect, acceptable way to each and every one of us. And in our book, Ask, my wife and I said, look, everyone's got a destiny code, And if you don't fulfill it and you go to the other side, all the people that died and went to the other side, 20,000 people on YouTube say, oops, Big G says, you're not done, you're going back.
That's funny. No, it's so true. I'd say a couple things. One, if you're going to write a song, is that the song you're going to want to sing?
Forever.
In life, right? If you get known, like I had retired at 26, I acted for 3 years. And I got a couple of roles that I thought were really bad roles that I was like, the character was bad. It didn't represent who I was as a person. It was an insensitive police officer for domestic violence, and it was all over the country. And I played the insensitive cop that is like, you did it to yourself. And I'm like, I walked away and went, this is the role I don't want.
Yeah. That's not the image.
This is not who I want to be. I was 3 years on Nash Bridges as a cop, and then I'm like, this is great because there's lots of cops and everything, and I can't even buy drugs. It's
that's
horrible.
That's bad.
The hair growing out is helping. I think I've gotten people offer me drugs now, so I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm in Vegas, so it happens. I don't do them, but
yeah, right.
He took his glasses off, so we know that. No.
Yeah, I'm not on it. I'm very clear-headed.
You've done some amazing books. Which one's your favorite one to you? Which one meant the most meaningful to you?
That's like saying which one of my kids is the most favorite.
I say him now. He said it right here.
For sure.
We won't talk then.
No.
When I was bankrupt and upside down, lost $2 million in one day. The oil embargo hit. I was building geodesic domes in New York City. I built Wall Street Racket Club, Botanical Gardens, aviaries houses, and Monsanto, which company I still don't care much about.
Oh my God, Monsanto? That's that is an evil empire.
Yeah, owned mostly by Bill Gates, of course. So the point is, in one day, they said, I was doing $40,000 a month, man. I thought, I am hot stuff. And I went bankrupt. I went bankrupt so fast, I had to go to the biggest library in the world, New York Public Library. Check out a book. Check this out. How to Go Bankrupt by Yourself.
And that's what Andrew does now. He helps people through that stuff.
Well, thank you, Andrew, on behalf of people like me. I didn't know you existed.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I wanted to
out
kill
there.
myself. I become a speaker. The people say, "Oh my God!"
Did you say you wanted to kill yourself?
I did when I was.
That was tough.
So you're not very successful, apparently.
I am now, but
I'm saying you weren't successful at killing yourself.
No.
I'm
a failure. Thank God.
That one.
Some things you don't want to be successful at.
We'll take it, dude.
No, that big crash, I ended up in a closet with a 9mm in my mouth. So I was like,
that's 2008. Now it's the same thing in 2003, 73, and 74 because I'm older than you.
Hey, 1975. I was right behind you, pooping my diapers.
You were born in the you were born in the 1900s. I heard that last night.
74.
I heard that last night.
Right?
Someone said you were born in the 1900s.
We're old.
Whoa, okay.
You're an old guy. I'm 75, but I got to live to be 127
Oh, you look
options
that's
for
great.
renewal.
That's great, man.
Right? Like you can transition.
And that's where you've probably I know you have. You've traveled the world and all these things. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I've always been on the grind. Like I said, I dropped out of college and I got lucky and went to a tech school, learned about this thing called the internet, and started working at IBM at age 19. And I learned my gift is creating systems and algorithms and efficiencies. And I was told I was crazy for dropping. I had a full ride scholarship, but my thing is I want to take my definite purpose is I want to be Tristan from Legends of the Fall and just go. That's what I want to do, and I want to go help people around the world. And it's a lot. I've been broke too. I've also lived out of my office. It's like weird rite of passage, not by choice. I didn't want to do that. Planet Fitness was my gym. I mean, not my gym. Is my shower, and that's where I went to for
$10 a month, right?
Hey,
I got that story
I look
too.
good.
It's funny. I was the same way. $10 a month. I'm like, I got a shower.
I paid 20.
It's crazy what everybody here is. When I came to this country, I came here homeless. And I ate bugs.
From where?
And people don't know these stories all the time.
And my family left China to go to Taiwan because whatever that. And then they came over here. And I remember being homeless and eating bugs. And everyone here has been that. And it's a journey, man. Like I remember one day I told my fiance as an entrepreneur, I just said, all I've ever wanted was just a fair chance to make it.
Right.
That's all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
That's all I ever wanted.
And that's what everyone
But your
deserves in
definite
America.
purpose brought you there.
Let's go to Taiwan, Taipei. I've been there a bunch of times. I was there after the 100,000 earthquake. The prime minister read all my books, my 38 cent saves, called me and said, you got to fly over and save us. And I go, hey, I'm a motivational speaker. Anyhow, he called my 13-year-old daughter and said, he says, your dad says you got them wrapped around your finger. You got to get Dad over here. Well, I get over there, and the Mormons did the best thing. They sent, without a name on it, 100,000 blankets. The Buddha, I met everybody when I was there. I'm in Chiang Kai-shek's temple, which you know. Now, I want to go to the bigger, higher level. We have got to save Taiwan. Taiwan is the think capital of Asia. Am I telling the truth?
I mean, you know, for a country that hasn't had any U.S. funds since probably the 70s and been taken out, I mean, the whole economy survived on computers, right? 95% of the country has college graduates. 75% of our computer magic comes from there. You know, before this,
Little League baseball.
Yeah, Little League baseball. They didn't let us do it. We turned 6'5". They made me play some other sport. You know, no more baseball for me. But you know, I was the youngest managing partner at Deloitte, and I ran the whole China division based out of Mexico. And I'll tell you, most of these companies that are coming here were just trying to do better, right? And it is a technology hub, and semiconductor is really important because it is 80% of our functionality.
Well, and Andrew probably knows about the grants and money that they can get to come here.
There's so much money. In fact, that they have what's called the STEP grant that I talk about, and what it is, they'll give you the money to be able to build something. They give you a second round of like $750,000, so it's not a lot of money. But then they'll give you a third round, which is another like $1.5 million, and then you keep all the rights. They pay and incubate the whole process so that you can make it a commercial use. The only thing is that the government has access to be able to buy it. So you're actually have a built-in customer called the government, the U.S.
Right.
It's like insane.
Well,
and I look at just how you can come up safely, because you know I'm older now, so and I don't like those bottom outs. They're not fun, and so now it's like really about being strategic about how you do things. So that's why I try and help people so they don't go through
what you went through.
Yeah, it's like I beat my head up against the wall.
But this is why the world has guys like you, and I'm going to tell you this from a guy like me, right, who came with literally nothing, right, and had to do this on my own. Like, I didn't finish college, but I actually write in college. I write the courses in college,
I've been in thousands of surgeries.
I didn't finish because of circumstances, right? Both my parents had a heart attack my final year, and it kept happening over and over again. But the amount of social media that is now out there, the fact that you can translate in multiple languages, the fact that you can do the finances, the fact that you can tell your story, this whole generation of X and Z, the whole reason I'm in gaming is because now I'm in my 40s and I'm like, whoa, there's something going on here. The young guys are totally off their spinners. Like, this is not what it's supposed to be at this point. Yeah. So we engage them through gaming, but your guys' message is what inspires guys like me and a bunch of younger guys to continue to do this. And that's the most amazing part now is we can literally help 1 billion people very, very quickly.
And we need to.
And we have to. And we can do it through gaming. And that's how I activate it.
That's where
because they all want to play video games. And so that's why we do it. There we go. Let's go.
So that's where I want to talk a little bit about what I'm doing for a second here, is this employee retention credits, okay? This is really important. It's misunderstood, first off, okay? The program was part of the CARES Act, and everyone went and got a PPP loan because it's very simple to get a PPP loan. There's billions of dollars of fraud, which everyone should be a little mad if you know someone that frauded, made up fake employees or whatever they did, because it's our tax dollars that they just took. That's really important there. So the employee retention credits, these are the payroll taxes that the businesses that have W-2 employees already paid in the system. So it's just a refund of that and more. And there's a lot of misinformation going on out there. And what's really bad is that there's all these pop-up firms, these mills that aren't even using the quality of an H&R Block tax preparer. And the reason why I say that, they're miscalculating and they're undercalculating. Where businesses should get maybe $20,000 per employee, but they're only calculating $10,000. And the business owner doesn't know this any better. And so we're actually literally, ERC Tree has found the most specialized tax accounting firms out there that specialize in tax credits and the corporate incentives. There's a whole different division that none of us know about, that Fortune 500 companies know about, because they get breaks and stuff for where they at in the state to the federal level and so on. And so the employee retention credits, the business owner gets to do whatever they want with it. And we're teaching them not to go buy the boat, not go buy the camper right now. Now, you can go buy a big one in 5 years maybe, but compound it and put it into good investment vehicles and coaching them along. And, we were talking about that. I mean, Mark, how many W-2 employees do you keep employed during the pandemic?
Well, at my Zenith, I had 100. We were doing $100 million business. We had 397 employees, and Tony Robbins and I were the two biggest in the business.
So you do realize if they have not filed for their employee retention credits, 397, we're going to use 400 just for ballpark.
Yeah.
If everyone made average around $35,000 a year, you got some people maybe a little less. Part-timers are calculated, but full-time employees, and you had group health premiums as well you paid in. You're looking at, on the very conservative side, $8 million that is due to you in a refund.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, right? Yeah. So and then
Amen.
and you can do what you want with it. You don't have to, you've already paid in, and you can expand, you can grow. We just helped a university get $4 million, and they were like, we're told we don't qualify. Our accountants told we don't qualify. Why? I mean, so there's mandates, there's supply chain and vendor issues, and then there's what's called revenue drop. And the firms that we have that specialize in tax credit, they do renewable energy and R&D tax credits for large Fortune 500 companies. They're the best of the best. He knows who these guys are too. I mean, Deloitte's doing it now, and Ernst & Young's doing employee retention credits, and there's other ones. I went and found specialized ones. It's free, and why not go find out how much you get? And for multiple of them, because they all do that. It's it's your guys' money. It's due to you, and you haven't taken advantage of it. Literally 90% of the companies in America that qualify haven't taken advantage of it. Now, what if you're a business, a restaurant? That's where everyone went right away, okay? But you're a business of 10 employees. I don't care if you're a landscaping company, you're a law firm, you're a physician's office. Physicians all the time, oh, you're deemed essential. You were never shut down. Oh, but they had 4 rooms. They used to see patients, went down to 1. That's a 75% change of their business. That's over 10%. That's all it is, a nominal impact, it's called. So what it is my passion is, and we're talking about, Taiwan, I'm trying to help some. I've never even been to Puerto Rico, but we're helping a lot of it. They have 40,000 businesses with under 20 employees, okay? And if let's just use 10 employees, and everyone averages out at 15,000 per. That's 150,000 per, and we help 10,000 of them. That's $1.5 billion into Puerto Rico that the business owners can take control. That's the difference here. Is this tax credit has never been awarded to small businesses. Large corporations get this stuff every year. And everyone should be more passionate about that. And that's what ERC Tree's doing, because we're a free service. We don't charge anything. We don't inflate the prices of the firms. The firms have their set fees. I just got an email today. Someone's asking, can I get the names of no. Once you give me the documents, I'll give you the names. But we got to submit you. And go, because if they try to go around this, the fees of the firms are the exact same fees. They could do their due diligence on that. Just get me the documents, which are just 941s, payroll, PPP docs, if you have group health. And then we don't even mess with the P&Ls. There won't be any audits on this. They're auditing. IRS is going to go after everyone with PPPs, especially anything that seems a little off or shady, because there was no checks and balances with PPP1. PPP2 they incorporated stuff. The 941's already filed. You guys have W2 employees. You filed it. Okay, it's done. It's just a refund of that and more when you have the specialized accounts that understand 14,000 pages of tax credit code. It's a big book.
I love the song in the background as this is going on.
Yeah.
It's the Eye of the Tiger.
I'm just.
Let's go. I'm ready.
I think production. I'm like, wow, I just got demonetized.
Yeah, it is pretty badass.
So I guess he'll tell you how to make the watch. The reality is, what time it was with the $8 million that you can get back.
By the way, I'm willing to take it, and I think I'll let everybody that does it.
And again, you can do whatever you want. You put it into a fund or whatever. I mean, like some type of charity thing. And that's another thing. Fundraisers is another big thing we're doing. So if I help a business or some of the celebrities and athletes that are here, Lee Steinberg's one of them. Okay, we're getting ERC for. He's got a small little private agency. Okay, it's not huge, but it doesn't matter. It's money. But they all have foundations. Why not? We have a whole fundraising platform that's just send out an email to your database to the business owners. Most of the donors are business owners usually. Okay, let's just be real. And make them aware, and it's free. And we will tithe, and we'll get them 10% as a donation instead of a commission like other affiliates and stuff get. We're gonna tithe.
Well, by the way, if you don't mind my recommending, I live here in Arizona. I'm co-chair right now of Child Help, which has helped 11.5 million kids get out of abuse and neglect.
Just in Arizona?
No,
Okay.
around America.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, no, we've been around since Bob Hope did.
That's awesome.
USO shows.
Think about it. So we're going to help the business owners get the money. If the business owners want to donate 10% of their own, that's fine. They can choose that. I'm just saying ERC Tree will donate 10% to the foundation for just putting us out there. That's all they're doing. Send an email out to their database. And then guess what? We could rate. It could be the largest. I also have this going on with sororities and fraternities there.
I will commit to my foundation for you.
Okay, awesome.
One of them.
Right on.
I got you.
Awesome.
Good energy.
No, I mean that's what we're talking about. There's so many ways creatively, and maybe it's kind of my gift to creating the systems. Let's get out of our own way. Charities are looking for ways to fundraise all the time. Why not give something meaningful to most of the donors that are business owners anyways, and get them some money? But either way, I mean, ERC Tree will donate. I'm very transparent. We get 25% of the fee for the firms, and they all have their fees. It's generally between 10 and 20%, okay? And you can file and pay later once you get the checks from the Treasury. It takes about 4 months right now, 3 to 4 months generally. And any business, every business, including the cannabis space, is also paid in payroll taxes that are doing it legit. They're getting refunds, and that's a big deal because they've never gotten anything from the federal government. They are getting their employee retention credits. We just had one get $2.65 million, and that led a wildfire. No pun intended there with it being the cannabis space. And it doesn't matter.
They paid in.
They paid in. They paid in. They're due. Okay, I don't care what it is. I mean, come on.
They paid in.
Yeah.
They're just giving them. You're just getting your money back.
You get your money back and more when it's done right because the calculations are different. And PPP was a loan. You had to use 60% of it more for payroll. If you didn't, it was not a loan. You're gonna have to pay for it. It wasn't forgiven. Okay, it's a refund of the money you already have. It's the largest tax credit that small businesses have ever seen in the United States history.
So the reason I've sold more books than anyone else is I tithe in every book we do. And
I believe it.
We also partnered with Coca-Cola, tested their people, and people who drink Coca-Cola don't read books. Diet Coke does, so we're on the side of 50 million Diet Coke cases for 6 months.
I'm a Coca-Cola guy, though.
Number one.
I don't read books, though.
58 weeks. And we did chicken soup for the Romantic Soul next to our friend Nora Roberts, Hidden Riches. We raised enough money to get 15,000 kids into Boys and Girls Clubs.
Okay, so how much do you know that? How much was that? As far as raised, 15.
I got an NDA that.
I know that's fine. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Coca-Cola doesn't like people telling how rich they are.
Here's the thing. So someone's got a fairly big database. Okay.
No, they don't.
One cent, man.
Those are my Deloitte days when he said that one.
But say someone has a big database of 100,000 donors. Okay,
Yeah.
just under. Let's say we help 1,000 businesses.
Right.
The average employee size is 15 employees. We get them an average of 20,000 per, not the max, because the firms are going to calculate properly, and so that's $300,000 per. So 300,000 times 1,000, okay, is I believe it's 300 million, and say the fees 10%, that's 30 million in fees, and then 10% of that, so $3 million would be raised, but 300 million went to like that. That's what we're going to do.
We got to do a chicken soup for the gamers.
Yes.
Chicken soup for gamers.
By the way, we'll
Preston,
talk off.
We're gonna talk. I mean, it's funny already because we were talking yesterday, which is why it's so funny.
Because, by the way,
laws.
Let me go back to what you said, Ben, earlier about being creative. There's creators and competitors, right? Creators.
You're so close to my heart and my soul.
Yeah.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, because all of us got a body if you're physically here.
Right,
then you got a brain, which is what school plugs in all that stuff. Then you got a mind, which can only do two things: have intuition and imagination. My teacher's teacher was Albert Einstein, and he said, imagination is more important than reality or facts, which is really.
Yeah.
But then you got soul, which is unlimited, and at soul you can create anything, and that's really why Elon Musk. And I just did a thing on Elon Musk. We need 10 Elon Musks, and I did one saying he'll be the first trillionaire with 7 multi-billion-dollar businesses. And what happened is I got 20 letters the next day.
And he's all in every time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's all in.
Oh, hell, he sold his 12 houses
Exactly.
to keep Tesla alive.
Exactly.
No.
That's what I did.
Because most people get close to the edge and then they go, oh, I'm going to back up. And then they screw it up and kill it every time.
Yeah.
Like, we got turned down by 144 publishers.
Yeah.
They all said they didn't like Jack.
Always.
I'm joking.
Always, right?
They said hit the road, Jack.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But
They don't want you to come back.
Yeah, no, Jack Canfield's a great man. I'm just teasing. I can't resist doing a little humor
Yeah,
in
you
this.
gotta have some humor in it.
So I want
That's your soul coming
Yeah,
out.
I want to circle back to, I get this with people, right? I'll get with them. I'm a creator, right? I create.
Correct. Everybody here is creative.
Yeah, and then I'll get around people that see me as a competitor, and I'm so disappointed. I'm like, there's so much we can do together.
Oh yeah, see, mine's a one and done. That's
Man,
the other
you-
salesperson. I'm sorry.
Wow, you keep waking me up by screaming. Hi.
Sorry, I'm passionate. My voice does carry.
I'm thinking of, they're doing this in post. This isn't live. So
Well, it doesn't matter.
You're going to have a guy with the sound going like this. I know because I did 2,700 videos. So I know spiking audio. I'm like, I got to fix it. Oh, damn. I got to. And they don't have like a filter for that.
I need one of those.
There's another creative business.
It's coming up with a filter for sure. But I found that in the finance space a lot, right?
Oh, totally.
A lot of the big in the finance space, I'm like a real guy, right? I've done it, and most of the people in this space have not done it, and they instantly see me as somebody they don't want to be next to, or talk next to, and and I'm like, I'm here to give you everything I know. I want to share everything.
I'm gonna switch out with them real quick.
What are we doing?
I'm gonna switch out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, I'll be
So,
but I do want to elaborate a little bit on that competitive stuff.
well, I mean,
Where you were going with that?
because I don't see myself.
There's some good good clips there.
No. Creative and competitive is a total vast difference. But the trouble is, competitive puts themselves out of business long term. Creative is never out of stuff. I mean, Elon Musk is my hero because 7 businesses that he didn't want to do. That are all doing billions, all of them. The Boring Company is a $10 billion business.
Right.
Well, what's fascinating is you had before him Steve Jobs, I think, hit 5.
Yeah.
Right. So Elon surpassed him as far as being able, because he did movies, Pixar, all these different companies that he had hits with. So Elon's passed him, Steve Jobs.
I mean, again, he's lived in his office at one point too.
So let me talk to that just a second. I'm on the biggest show with Amazon bestseller list with Mark Devereaux. Mark Devereaux, I've been on 2 times, which is, like 5 million people listening all at once. And he says, you're the Roger Bannister of books. He says, you know who Roger Bannister was? I said, of course, 4 Minute Mile. He was 1953, and he broke all the records. But I said, Mark, do you know what happened in the next week? He said, not a clue.
Other people started doing it.
No, 119 people did a 4 Minute Mile. Now, what does that mean? It means that where I've sold 500 million books, somebody's trying to catch me, but I'm going to sell 1 billion because that's my original goal. And that's why we had 144 people turn us down. When I did it, I didn't get it. Right? The first line, if you're the head of Random House, do you read? This guy's Tinker Toys. Nobody has sold 1 billion books. It's just like I couldn't sell.
Manifested it.
Yeah. The point is, they say you'll never outsell the Bible. So I did Chicken Soup for this whole Bible, and we sold 70,000 a week at Walmart just because nobody had ever done one in purple and gold, and no gold and no silver leaf. So it didn't look scary. And little stories get you in the big story. It's so cool what you can do if you just stay in a creative mode, which you wanted to talk to.
Hey, Mark.
So, as far as telling a story, in your mind, as far as the 5 points that you hit in a story to capture people, because that you're one of the greatest storytellers of all time, right?
Thank you, sir.
And I read ferociously books to learn and grow. And what are the 5 points that you hit in a story that you think of when you're trying to pull somebody in? Like, what's the first thing about pulling somebody in? What's that magic?
By the way, you're exactly correct. Jack and I did a highway with curbs on it, and the main highway, the first one has got to cause goosebumps, God bumps, chili bumps. Second, it's got to cause instantaneous behavioral change where it's going to say, holy cow, that story's me, even though it's somebody else's story, and it's going to have me, like somebody outside said, I read your teenage soul, and I'm one of the ones that didn't commit suicide. Well, we helped 100,000 people say they didn't commit suicide, because teenagers, and they're worse now thanks to the pandemic, worse than ever. Right, so we go through all those 7 things, which I can go through each one of them if you want. But the fact is, that's what all of us have, a story to tell, and that's why I started the Mark Victor Hansen Library.com. We're a publishing house that takes people's story and then we ghostwrite it into its magnificent, so it's irresistibly compelling reading. And we've had 18 out of 18 books we published last year, first year in publishing, #1. Nobody has ever pulled off what we're pulling off because we're thinking the industry is compressing at a time we need to be expressing, which is what I did a whole YouTube video on. Creatives are expressive, competitors are depressive. We're not putting any more money in your deal, your movie's over, whatever. I don't even know what business you're in, but I'm picking on him.
Just for the record, he's putting a shit ton of my money in my deal.
Are you with Bill? Is that why we're doing it?
No. Shout out to Bill Walsh.
Yep. Shout out Billy.
Yeah.
So
Shout out Billy.
relatable, human, that draws you in is the second point. Goosebumps, God bumps.
Chili bumps, and
Chili bumps.
it's got to turn your stomach or weaken your knees is the next one, right? And
Turn your stomach or weaken your knees.
right. In other words, all of a sudden you say, well, wait a second. Let me give you the best example, because you're going to wear a Mark Victor Hansen hat. Cool. That's what it is. Guys, there's 4 kinds of hair: in, thin, fuzz, and was. And I'm heavy with was.
I know. I grew mine out just because I can. People start saying that when I grow out my hair because I do Ironman, so it's usually really short. And now I grew it out. And when I grew it out, they're like, man, you could grow hair. So I kept it. But it's crazy. It's unmanageable. Anyway,
I grew out
Me
my
and Preston
hair
have
for
the
the show.
nicest hair here.
we went into hair. I'm like so into what you're saying.
So we're doing a book with Tammy Fellows, and Tammy Fellows owns the biggest magazines here in PV and in Scottsdale. And we sit down, and she says, I got a story I got to tell you. She said, last week I'm with Pat Bondurant. Bondurant Speedway is the biggest here in Arizona. And said, Pat Bondurant and I were trying to get together. She sits with me and said, there's 6 people sitting behind you. I get goosebumps telling you, this is a chicken soup story. It shows number 1 point. Said, who are they? And she describes her grandfather, her father, her brother, her sister. They left here on an airplane to go skiing in Park City, Utah. The plane went in the snow. They didn't find them for 6 months, and said, look, I've been trying to talk to your mother, but your mother's, shut down and doesn't believe in a supernatural, and you do. So I'm supposed to talk to you so you can tell your whole family what really happened. I mean, that kind of story needs to be shared, because what you said is that when you go out of the competitive, you start to find out that all things are possible. There's infinite intelligence, and you and I are made in the image and likeness. We're supposed to use infinite awareness. And
my motto is the only impossible journey is the one you never begin.
Right.
That's a good one.
Yep. I mean,
Hey,
that's
Mark, I
it.
have a question for you.
Sure.
Have you ever done something related to sober living?
No, we need to, because alcoholism,
right now,
18 million of us are alcoholics. In
We all are a certain way or not.
funny-
addicted one way
Yeah.
or another, yeah.
Funny you bring that up. I'm sober 14 years. So's Lee.
Right
I think
on.
He's 18 years sober. And I've got a book that I've been working on called Win the Day, because in order to be sober, you have to be sober one day at a time. And for me to win that battle, I had to literally win the day. And I had to start winning the day one day at a time. But I started realizing that when you win the day just by not drinking, you can win the day in finance, wealth, health, happiness, your social life, your married life, your dating life. And I started winning the day in so many areas. I became super successful. And I realized that the way that you become sober is also the way that you become successful. If
I agree.
you're interested, I think you're the guy to help me get that book.
Exactly.
Out the
That's
door.
what our
It sounds like he's got the exact vehicle. I don't know if you were sitting here.
I mean, he seems to be
he has
the
a
guy.
publishing house.
Yeah.
And he actually takes people on that ride, that journey.
Because our brand is bring your impact story to life.
I love
and
it.
your impact story is exactly what Ben's been saying over there. Is it, look, there's AA, there's GA, Gamblers Anonymous, and
Right.
I just watched Steve Wynn, who
Shout out to all my friends. At the
Which, by the way, I
Crab
lost it Wednesday.
Steve Wynn says correctly, the only person that wins at a casino is the owner.
Oh, absolutely. That's what
John
Andrew
Orlando.
says too.
Yeah.
I like my slot machines
John
now.
Orlando-
The pandemic got me in the
I'd
slots.
rather buy stock when
Chicken
I'm there.
soup for the Tony
It's
Orlando show.
entertainment to me.
Remember Tony Orlando?
Sure, and Dawn.
Shout out to his son John Orlando.
Hey, John Orlando, nice to talk to you. Hope to meet you sometime. We did a book on Reverend Ike, the biggest black minister ever, and Tony had him on his show multiple times.
Wow.
Back when he was big.
Yeah, and that's again where I'm at. I don't know. I really I created a celebrity fundraising platform. My grandfather's cousin, Bob Quigley, created a bunch of TV games. Heater Quigley Productions back in the 60s through the 80s.
Chris.
And I created a platform that CBS Viacom ended up blocking my trademark. It had nothing to do with it. It's called Celebrity Squares. They're in a square box. It had nothing. It wasn't a tic-tac-toe game or anything like that. And the attorneys for CBS Viacom in New York, lady called me. And my attorney already talked to me. She said, you need to talk to her. So I talked to her. And she goes, hey, you're doing something good here. But she goes, just so you know, I don't get calls like this for you. Because I wasn't that big yet. Really wasn't that big yet. I was interviewing celebrities in Hollywood and stuff like this. So there's the thing called Cameo app, which is a great app. But people
Shout
spun
out to the
off.
boys in Chicago
It
at Cameo.
So I have a third version that's going to be coming out. But again, it's a game out of celebrity social media that's very interactive and fun, and it raises money for charity and their foundations as well, without anybody having to spend any money.
Way
Mark,
cool.
you gonna be here all day?
Yeah.
Can you come back later?
Yeah. I need to get your information and his
Yeah.
information.
Actually,
so
Hey, I'll
Do
group text
you
you.
get to Vegas?
I texted it to.
I'll group text you guys right now. Okay?
yeah, just introduce.
Group text
Yeah.
you. Yep.
Here, I'll give you mine.
I'll group text you.
Oh, group
Actually,
text?
Yeah, I got you
Preston's good. I got Preston. I'll send it all.
Yeah. Preston and I are close.
You're
We-
close?
Right here. I'm doing
That's
it
your
right
son, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I was gonna
His
say.
kids are
now.
my 3
I'm
grandkids.
sitting right now.
Wait, you got grandkids?
Here.
We got 6 grandkids.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hansen.
Hey, listen.
And then
I
go to
am super thankful you came.
There you go.
Huh?
go to
I wanna
create
modify your title
contact
'cause
and
we
done.
think that
Yeah.
cover
And then
on the
text me.
title and then you-
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna do it. Win the day. A guide
put you
to
together.
sober
Oh,
living
cool.
and success.
Right.
I've thought about this
Cool.
for a long time.
Right.
I just haven't gotten past the whole. How do I write a book?
Right. No, we do it for you. We do
And-
it
and
with
c-
you and for you. We're co-creators.
Yeah, and Chris.
He's
the-
Mark Victor Hansen. We are lucky to have
Oh,
shared
amazing.
some time together.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you so much, and please come back. I would
And
love
I will
to.
come on your show when we're in Vegas. We were just there
I would,
for.
I would love to
we'll
like
get you
really
down to
dive
the-
into
By
that.
the way, if you think I'm good, you ought to see.
Well,
his-
I want to get Preston in here.
Mommy, yeah, no. He's the kid's genius. You'll love him.
Yeah.
There's a chip
And
on
his
the
and
block.
his sons are gonna be ballers.
Hey Ben, why don't you?
They're
take
already
Mark and
ballers.
Preston out? We're gonna switch.
Okay,
in.
good.
Bring in